Hey, it's me coming back to note some things for myself. And as per usual, as I do so, I am sharing with you. So it is my hope that should anything that I say regarding my personal experience resonate with you, that you take it with a grain of salt, chew the meat, spit out the bones, and yeah, that's how we're moving. So my information is in no way advice. Um, it could be encouragement. It could be support if you, again, have experiences that are similar. But yeah, not telling nobody what to do. Just sharing what I'm going through right now. So the title of this is going to be No Can Do. It's so funny, this experience that I'm going through right now. I sat down to record this and I heard the song by Hall & Oates, No Can Do. No, I can't go for that. No can do. I can't go for that. So that's what I'm thinking today. And it has everything to do with personal boundaries, personal protection of self. And I'm experiencing a situation that I knew was going to come about one day, and it did yesterday. And when the opportunity presented itself, I thought, right? I thought to myself, I said, okay, so how am I going to handle this? And the first thing I thought about is how have I always handled this? Because the way that I always handled it reaped frustration, misery, depression, sadness, and just I basically realized that that wasn't the way. And so I was in tune enough and smart enough this time to stop, to pause. And my first encouragement in this is to say, when anything comes about, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a phone call. Pause. Don't be so impulsive to do anything. If you are offered a job, pause. Tell them you'll get back to them. Tell them you'll get back to them even about the interview. You know, when I was younger, I would always want to, if I were looking for a position, if I were getting calls, I would always want to be the first person. I want to be the first interview because I want to be the first impression. And I'm here to say first impressions are definitely lasting, because my first impression of how I chose to navigate this particular situation was definitely long lasting, but not beneficial. It wasn't the best way. And so now that I'm adding pause into everything that I encounter, everything that I do, the pause gives me time to reflect, time to think, and time to hear. It also gives me time to listen so that I can hear. And so when I'm listening to hear, I'm listening from my inner self. I'm listening from the Most High. I'm listening to my spiritual guides tell me, we work together, we're going to converse and decide what's best. And so sometimes this is going to have to happen in a matter of a split second, right? So if your phone is ringing, you see who it is or what it is, you decide then and there, you pause, take those seconds, they're only seconds, to talk to everybody, talk to yourself. Do I want to answer that? Do I have capacity to answer that? Are they going to say something cheerful? Are they going to need something? Well, you don't know any of that until you answer. But the bigger question at that time is, where am I? Self-inventory, checking yourself. Do I have capacity to answer this call? Do I have capacity to entertain this person in whatever manner? And if you find that your battery is not strong enough, don't answer. Right? And so I got a phone call just last night, and I looked at the phone call and I took inventory. I talked to my spiritual team and we decided we didn't want to take that call at the moment, right? And so you're not neglecting people. You're not talking to people, being funny. You know, brown people are weird. They think everybody being funny when they don't do the status quo, and that's not the case. It's about maturing. It's about balance. It's about boundaries, right? And we're all allowed to have them. And so that's what I was doing. I was exercising my boundaries. I said to myself immediately when I saw the phone call, I'm going to call that person back, right? Because in that moment, I was actually taking care of some things for me and I didn't want to be interrupted. And this is where we all, it's an encouragement. Find a way to get to this place. Okay, so didn't take the call, ended up getting a text immediately. So that's the other thing that I knew. If it's an important thing, somebody's going to text you if they don't reach you, right? My voicemail box is always full because I don't do voicemail. I know for a fact you're going to keep calling if it's ultra important, or you're going to text me because you want me to at least get a glimpse of what the hell's going on so I get back to you. And that's what this person did. So it's perfect. So when they shared with me what they shared, I was like kind of caught back like, whoa, my God, I'm so grateful I didn't take that call because I wasn't ready for what they told me. Okay. And so in them sharing what they shared, which was something that I knew was eventually coming, because I had been praying about it and I had been meditating over it, and I just knew in a matter of time it was coming. I still wasn't ready to confront the issue. I have, over the past 2.5 years, been going back and forth within myself, working on and working out the situation that took place. It's a relationship with a family member that I hadn't been in contact with. And I ended up thinking to myself, I'm not ready. Even though they seem like they're ready, I'm not ready. And that's where the no can do I comes in at. I used to say when I was younger, never feel compelled to do anything. Compulsion is just not healthy, Like if somebody does something, you feel the immediate response coming up and out of you, and you respond immediately. Again, no can do I. Just because you're ready or you're in a space or you're in need and you need my help or you would want it, doesn't mean that I gotta give it at that time. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to, or it can mean that I'm going to give it in the capacity that I have, right? And so one thing my mother always taught me, she said, as you get older, when people come to you and if they want to borrow money or anything, give them what you can. And always, as well with that, don't give away anything that you're not able to fully part with, right? So if somebody comes to you and they want to borrow some money and they say, hey, can I have $100? Well, hell, I might not have the 100. I only got 25. So I never feel compelled to give exactly what somebody asks of me. I give according to my capacity at the time. So my capacity at the time yesterday was, I don't have 100% to give to this. And so what I can give today at that moment yesterday, I gave 15%, right? And the 15% was communication. And it was through a third party, which was a family member that called. They let the other person know a few things, nothing negative at all. And here's the thing. The person that got the information, the person I've been, out of touch with, they understood fully. Between me and their spirit, they understood. And word got back to me. They understood that I'm not ready, and I'm not going to make myself be ready, because there were so many times when I was overly ready, overly extending, overly supporting, overly giving, and overly doing whatever I could for this person unto no appreciation, unto deficit on my end. I gave to no end. And there was a lot of things that led to why I was giving that way, and the panic that I always felt to support and help and try to provide. And there was always this personality struggle and this tug of war, this back and forth that was just so detrimental to me. I think the other person kind of enjoyed the back and forth. To them, it was a game. It was, like a cat and mouse. And I just woke up one day and got off that wheel. And I've shared in a message before, sometimes, you just don't have to play no more. If you don't want to dance, that's the term that I used in the analogy that I gave. I said, if you don't want to dance with somebody, you don't have to. None of us have to do anything. It's similar to, you can't lead a horse to water, and you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. Well, the same thing goes for the persons on the other end, You ain't got to lead the horse to water. If that sucker thirsty, he gonna find some water. How about that? The horse is not stupid. So in this case, this person is not stupid. They know how, they know a way, but they were going to try what was familiar and see. They just wanted to test the water and find out whether or not it was warm. It's not. It's not even cold water. You want to know why? Because the water is not there. The water dried up a long time ago. And that's what this person now is going to have to be aware of. Simply saying on my end, the door has been shut to that particular behavior. The door is not shut to that person altogether. I'm not doing that, right? But the way that I used to handle this person, the interaction that we had, what I gave and how I was has changed dramatically. And they, for the first time, are learning that. And so there's no argument, there's no fight, there's no negativity that's going to transpire because from my end, I'm not allowing for that either, because that only pulls you back into the old way, the old self, the dead self. And dead things need to lie where they are. It's a new dawn, a new day, and a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. And so when you mature and when you change, people around you, if they have not, will feel uncomfortable by your change. Now, at some point, they may want to try to target you and your change. And that has nothing to do with you either. It's simply that they are trying to figure out how to dance without you. And that's not your, I'm not going to say problem. That's not your business. Your business is you. And if you got off the dance floor and went and sat down, that is what it is. Nobody, just like that horse, can make you drink. And again, if that horse is thirsty enough, it's going to find a way to a source of water, meaning knowledge, sustenance, whatever that it needs for itself. It's going to find its way. But its way doesn't have to be you anymore. So this is my encouragement that boundaries are important. Maturity has its place, and maturity having its place is wisdom. And the wisdom in this is that no matter what outside forces may say or how they want to look at the story, at the end of the day, the only thing they can say in truth is, wow, you sure have grown. You sure have changed. And eventually in life, maybe they will follow your lead in some things that may be similar. In some instances that may prove to be similar. They may decide to get off the dance floor themselves and let that horse find that water on their own, right? And so that is my encouragement today. No can do I can't dance. I can't pull you to the water. I can't even lead you to the water to get the water. Find it yourself. We all have the ability to be in contact with our inner selves, the Most High, the spiritual team that has been afforded to each of us. And so many of us have lost tune and lost touch with that, or aren't patient enough or still enough to fully engage with that support. And so that is my second encouragement, is to garner a relationship with your spiritual guides, your spiritual team, and begin to move with them, not just by yourself. Because one thing for certain, I can say that in moving by myself, a lot of times I struggled and I toiled a lot more than I actually needed to, because I did not pull up and allow for the spiritual assistance that I have in my life. But now I do. And it's a team effort over here. All right. So as per usual, I love you much.